Shay. Welcome to the Sydney Podcast. Today we have John Sanchez and Matthew.
Oh, we are back. By the way, Matt's partially Asian, so
yeah, a lot of my family's fresh off the boat.
So he likes to dive back into his roots, but we got a good episode coming up for you guys today.
Yeah, we're gonna be talking a lot about the foundational principles that we believe in, or what we embody, what we practice. And then we're also going to be talking about just the importance of food and how it is not just food, it's not just fuel, it's not just this. There's a lot of information that goes into our bodies when we eat food. So we're going to be giving a little information on that, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, I think overall, touching on all those topics will be a lot of interesting things, but from both of our perspectives. Also, the biggest thing that can come away from probably this episode is just developing a better relationship with food. Thinking that food is good and not bad.
Oh, yeah.
So, Matt, what do you have to say? I mean, you want to start the principles of life that we feel like embodiment of like an overall good, kind of healthy lifestyle, what those principles should be?
Yeah. So, there's going to be 6 that I practice or I follow. These foundation principles are pretty basic. Once you hear them, you're probably going to be like, well, no fucking shit. But it's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that go within that people don't know, or they don't think about, or they just don't think is that important. But it's going to be sleep, hydration, nutrition, thinking, breathing, and moving. Again, it's sleep, hydration, nutrition, thinking, breathing, and moving. So what that means is obviously sleep. Sleep is going to be one of the most important things that everyone doesn't. They want to get it so bad, but they don't know how to even properly get it, because we're experiencing so many different stresses and stressors that are causing disruption in our circadian rhythm, which is going to be the sleep-wake cycle. So what hormones you put out from wake to sleep. A lot of it's going to be with like light, EMF, even the types of food that you eat before bed. But everyone's going to be individualistic in what they have to deal with. So next one's going to be hydration. Quality water is fucking important, because obviously our body is made up of, I want to say, like, I'm totally drawing a blank right now, but
it's 75%.
Well, you need water. You need water for every process in the body as it is. So it's like one of those things where, let me see if I have a... Oh, yes, it says 75% of the body. 85% of our brain tissue is going to be from water. So 1%, if you go down hydration 1%, it can cause a lot of cognitive dysfunctions.
Yeah, hydration is key. Mm-hmm. Hydration is one of the key components of just not functioning, but just being able to do basic things.
Oh, yeah. And, like, the type of water, too, is very crucial, because a lot of people don't understand that the lakes and natural springs, or whatever we get in our water from these from these spring waters and stuff like that, the pipes that they run through, they're rusted to shit. We have acid rains, we have inorganic acids in the water, we have pharmaceuticals that we have so much dump off of toxins and chemicals and just biosludge that can get into our water sources. And so nowadays, like, if you're drinking shitty water, like if you're drinking water, you're not drinking just water. You're drinking all these chemicals and toxins, and these inorganic acids and even metals. So it's pretty much drinking rust.
Yeah, and the bullshit part of it is all these water companies say like their water is like filtered, or like that they clean up their water, but like Crystal Geyser, I know they had some issues with like people finding out like there was I think it was like mercury in their water. And then I know like Arrowhead doesn't do the greatest job of filtering it out.
Mm-hmm.
Aquafina. So it's just like they can put on the label, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's true. So I think one of the biggest things is actually finding out what's in your actual water and making sure you're drinking good quality water. I know, like, for example, like one of the biggest stories talked about is how like Flint can't get clean water.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at like the conditions there.
Oh yeah. I bought a $1,000 water filter because the water is so ass. You can go on ewg.org, and you can go on. They have a lot of different links and to like certain like things like to avoid. But one of the links is going to be to, you can type in your water district, you can type in your zip code or area code and or zip code, yeah, sorry, and so it'll pull up every single like chemical and thing that's above the EWG standards, but it'll compare to the standards that they allow in our water, and it's so fucking crazy with like the amount of carcinogens and shit like that are in it. So you got to be really careful with tap water, especially even bathing in it. 60 like you'll absorb about 60% of that water you're bathing in. It gets through your skin. How do you think lotion works? You know, it's just like your body's sitting there in this shit water forever. How long we take showers now for? It's like what, 30-40 minutes people will be in the shower. Fucking
no, not me.
Dog, I've came across so many people that just be in the shower for like 30 minutes.
I feel like if you have like a long day and you're just trying to relax, then yeah. But like for me, if I have to go somewhere, it's like 15 minutes at most.
Yeah, some people's like crying chambers.
Yeah,
I've
just heard of that too. But
they just go in there and cry and meditate.
You're wasting a lot of water doing that. 30 minutes.
So back to hydration. So 10 billion biochemical reactions per second in the human body, all which are water dependent, which is why water is very important. Nutrition.
Ooh.
Yeah, we could talk about that all day. Thinking. How you think matters. How you think is your reality. If you're constantly doing stinking thinking, you're just gonna fucking walk around stinking all the goddamn time.
Stinking thinking.
Like you,
I like stinking thinking.
You want, like, if you're thinking, oh, like this workout's gonna fucking suck, or like this shit sucks. This shit sucks. Oh god, yeah, I'm dreading this. It's a pain in my ass.
I have to go to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
no, it's I get to do this shit.
Yeah.
Like you know, you start flipping that coin opposite side. You get out of that. Your whole aura, your whole mentality, your whole perception on life will change, and your reality will change. So how you think is very important. Breathing.
Oh yeah, this is a big one for me. This is one that I got exposed to, and just I've seen a major difference in my life.
Everyone, just take a moment.
Take a deep breath.
Breathe into your nose, down into your belly. Now everyone take a deep breath. Does your chest or your stomach move, your belly move first? If your chest moves first, you're breathing with your chest. You're breathing with your neck. If your belly moves first, that's a good sign that you're a little bit better at diaphragmatic breathing. So if we don't breathe properly, there's a lot of shit that goes into oxygen and CO2. So one, we're not going to have a CO2 buildup, like a tolerance, if we're constantly chest breathing and neck breathing. That's going to keep us in a fight or flight state. That's going to keep our adrenals pumping and firing because our body doesn't know that we're suffocating or not. So it's very subtle. You don't have to sit there. You know, people that usually are sitting there anxious as fuck, they're probably not breathing and they're probably not grounded. So if you're not breathing properly, your diaphragm goes down next to your organs. You're not even moving your organs as many times as you can move them throughout the day. It's a massage. It's a movement. If we're not moving our organs and they're inflamed and they're stuck, you know, that causes a lot of stagnation. You don't get a lot of nutrient absorption. You get a lot of overgrowth of bacteria and shit like that. So if we're not breathing properly, it's not just about getting oxygen in. It's about actually moving your whole diaphragm and utilizing that to affect everything else in between. Moving wise, that's going to come from exercise, but you know, a lot of people are over exercising in the sense that they don't know the amount of other stressors that they're dealing with in life. That exercise, it's not overtraining in the sense you just don't have the capacity to do it. If you had a capacity to do it, you wouldn't necessarily overtrain.
Okay, and I think with that, so from my understanding with my own body is like my load is only a certain much, and so I say this like, and I tell like a lot of people is you want to train with a purpose. Mm-hmm. When you kind of just go work out just to work out 5, 6, 7 days a week with no real purpose and no very fun, it's really easy to over fatigue out, overload, and kind of that's where the injuries happen. That's where your body just kind of it only takes so much before something finally happens. And so one thing I've been looking at is kind of how to more like how it's moving is how do I move? How do I get my activity without exerting and fatiguing myself out throughout the whole week. So how do I get what I need every day from exercising every day, but don't do it in the same way, or do it kind of just unintentionally, and just go work out how I normally would?
Oh yeah, you gotta be mindful.
Exactly. Like I have to have a purpose. So like, why am I doing it this day? Why am I training like this on this day? Why am I doing this to upkeep my body, be able to make sure I can move, that I can perform the movement and move it the way I want to move. And so, I think looking at just overall, I think one of the greatest things, like things that I've been opened up to, and I think Taylor was actually told me about this, but like, how often in like any like normal life circumstance are you gonna be asked, or like, are you gonna be in the position where you're gonna bench like 200, 300 pounds, or that you're gonna squat 200, 300 pounds, like in just everyday life? Think about that. Not often.
Yeah, not often.
But like, let's say like rotation, like how many times do you have to have your arm come back, or lean forward, or balance yourself?
The gait mechanics and how
yeah,
we walk
things
and
like
run.
that. Exactly. And like you do that all throughout the day, but no one really focuses on those things. And as you weightlift, after you train and do these things, you start to lose those things more because it's just fatigue and the hurt in your body.
Yeah, you're going straight up and down all day long. You're going one plane of motion. You're not getting any rotations. You're not getting any, proper breathing. You're doing rib flare. You're an extension. You're, so that means that you're doing a little Instagram butt pose all the goddamn time. Your ribs are flaring because you're breathing with your neck and chest rather than your actual like diaphragm. So we lose connection with our lower abdomen. Certain things are elongated, turned off. People that sit down all day, or people that bend over all day, carry things. Everyone's individualized, so it's like that's why I was talking about the capacity. It's like if you don't have the capacity to go in and do a CrossFit workout, but you go in anyways, you're just doing a lot more damage than actually doing good. But if you were to know that your capacity this day is to only do, movements that will get you like it's working in rather than working out. Your heart rate doesn't go up. Your mouth stays wet. You're breathing through your nose, and you're being mindful with your movements. Now you're getting in touch with your body, and you're developing a conscious effort that will get you to the point of being more secure within yourself, and then also you'll from then domino effect to be able to get to the capacity of being able to do CrossFit, and then you'll be able to, or something like CrossFit, then you'll be able to do it a lot better because now you're not disconnected going through all those motions, all those Olympic weight lifts, things like that. It's the body's resilient. We can get through a lot of shit, a lot of pain. People do it all the time. People take pride in pain. They take pride in grit. They take pride in all this shit. But yeah, it's cool. But I mean, I would much rather go throughout my day not hurting and going, okay, like I feel fucking great, rather than going, God, I push through this shit every goddamn day.
Well, I know, and it's like I told you, like I was reading Tom Brady's book about the TB12 method, and he kind of talks a lot about that. When he was 25, 26, 27, how he was having pain in his body, like in his shoulders, and like when he would throw, like he would feel the pain, and he would kind of just grit through it. Like it's kind of taught, like in NFL, like you're gonna have your aches and pains, you're gonna have your things, like you kind of have to find a way to deal with it, but keep playing. And so finally it clicked with him. He was like, dude, like, I don't want to feel like this I want to be able to keep playing this game at a high level the way I want to play it, like as long as I can. So
intelligently.
Yeah, exactly. And he was like, so what can I do to make it to where my body's not hurting every single day? Like I have to freaking go get treatment, or I have to do rehab work every single day to play this game, because eventually the body's gonna give up. Like I'm not gonna be able to do that. And that's why you see guys like retire. Well, the guy's 43 playing in the Super Bowl next week.
Yeah.
How many other quarterbacks have, even at 40, been able to put up elite numbers, play the game of football the way he has, and go to the Super Bowl?
Yeah. I feel like another great example is Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
Because he did intelligent work and became this person that was able to fucking not get hit and be able to go. Did he go undefeated?
Oh, yeah. He did.
Yeah.
He's still undefeated.
Undefeated. And then, still fucking going. Like, this motherfucker's gonna go back and fight, this fool Logan.
Yeah, Logan Paul.
Or is it Jake Paul?
No, it's Logan Paul. Jake Paul is the one that was trying to fight McGregor.
Oh my fuck!
Yeah.
These fucking assholes, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not hating on because they're doing the damn thing, but like they're fucking. That's crazy.
Yeah. Also, another great example is how I feel about him is regardless of LeBron James. He invests into his body. Like he takes time and recovery for his body, and I think he's 37 now, still playing at an elite level, still playing better than guys that are 5-6 years younger than him. and those guys are all injured out because they didn't take care of their body, or they kind of just willed their way and said, okay, I'll play through the pain.
And look how much of a name they've made for themselves.
Yeah.
Because they do it differently.
Yeah, they're a brand. They're a brand.
Mm-hmm.
People, like I said, the reason why I freaking got Tom Brady's book was, okay, this guy's 43 playing, looks good, plays good, hasn't been hurt in the past 10 years. What the hell is he doing? If the natural interest of like, okay, what is he doing? I'm like, I want to figure out the method and see.
Sacrificing babies. No, I'm just kidding.
I hope not.
No, I'm just kidding.
But no, well, and like I go back to like the signs of it though too. Is like he does really put in a conscious effort to work on his body. Like these are things that I can look at and say from what I've studied, from what I've learned, from what I've researched, and say, okay, this makes sense. Like he does this, he does this. This is his method to how he's keeping his body in shape. And not to say like I need to mimic it freaking verbatim, but okay, like, I can apply some of these things into my life to where I could probably see that improvement too as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't like I'm not saying like, oh, like yeah, you have to go work out like Tom Brady, you have to go work out like LeBron, you have to go work out like Floyd Mayweather. But for me, it's just like that. You have to look at different styles of training. Like it's not just all being in the weight room and lifting as much weight as possible and going as hard as you can.
Yeah.
And how Matt said pushing through the pain, because that's only gonna get you so far.
Yeah, it's cool for a little bit, you know, and then later on in life when you all are fucking walking around complaining every day about how you hurt.
Well, I look at it even like when I'm 24 years old, and like for me to freaking touch my back sometimes or to grab something behind in my car, like that shit would hurt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to be feeling like this to where like if I'm just freaking trying to grab something from the back seat of my car and I can't do it because I'm hurting. Like right there in itself, like okay, like I don't want to keep feeling like this. So what can I do to make this better and get my movements better?
Mm-hmm.
So what if I can freaking bench fucking 2 plates? If I can't fucking turn around and wipe my ass, what good am I? Like
yeah, or be able to do some pull-ups or
yeah.
You know, do some plyometrics without fucking injuring yourself, or you know. But injuries and everything are gonna come. It's never a linear, you know, progression. It's always gonna be up and down, just like Coach Axe said.
There's that fucking saying, just like the fucking Matt, you gotta say it. It's like a fucking roller coaster.
Well, it's like a fucking roller coaster. You're ready to go up, and eventually you gotta go down.
They come right back up.
And you can come right back up. It's okay.
Alright, so we covered all the principles, right?
Yeah, those are the principles.
I think one of the ones I want to go back over is sleep.
Yeah.
Because we kind of just rushed through that a little bit, but I'll say that's a big key component for me, and it kind of goes back into like that mindset of training is like, if you're a really busy person or like you feel like you have a lot on your plate, you tend to put sleep behind you, like, you know, make it a priority. I know for me, like when I was in school, when I was working 2 jobs, like sleep wasn't a priority for me.
Oh no.
It was like I would go get home at freaking 12:30, 1 o'clock at night, wake up at like freaking 4 or 5 to go back and do like run the whole cycle again. And also, I had to do it. Like that was my process for going through school, like maintaining my bills. But now the fact that I'm able to kind of practice my sleep more, I see the benefit of it. Like my workouts are better, my energy's a lot better. I notice now on the days where I do get bad sleep, where I probably don't feel as good, especially in my workouts.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the days I do get good sleep, I feel a really, really good difference. One of the things that I've been using is a Whoop band, and it kind of tells me how my recovery process is. It tells me how long I was in REM for, how long I was in the deep sleep for, how long I was in light sleep for. So I kind of get to figure out and play with those things. And like the data, like it shows me and tells me, and usually like I can look at it and see how my day went, see like how, if I'm starting to crash out at night or if I'm starting to feel like a lot more like it's easier to fall asleep. Like I notice the things now, and I feel like that's just a really big crucial part of if you're gonna be like if you're gonna try to transition to a healthy lifestyle, you have to prioritize sleep.
Yeah.
I think that's honestly I forgot who said this.
If you want your hormones to function properly, you gotta fucking worry about sleep.
Yeah.
You know, you can become so much more energetic and so much more. You can make so many more gains if you prioritize. sleep.
Yeah, I think I forgot who said it, but basically like you can get from sleep like 2 times more than any kind of supplement you'll ever take.
Oh yeah.
Like
it's like it's a natural test booster.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, hey, what's a test booster I should fucking buy? Go to sleep. But a lot of people just like to count hours of sleep. They don't worry about quality of sleep.
Oh yeah, that's big too.
So like,
I'll take 5 or 6 good hours of sleep versus me sleeping for like 10 hours, like kind of just lazily, and not being at quality.
so during sleep, the hours between 10 and 2 p.m. or 2 a.m. excuse me. So hours between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. Those are going to be where our body is going to be most in our physical repair. Hours between 2 to 6 a.m. are going to be more of a mental nervous system repair, cognitive function. So you can imagine if you don't sleep and wake with the sun or the sun, sunrise and sunset, getting those natural rhythms in order. If you don't avoid certain things before bed, like obviously electronics. Everyone knows you should avoid your phone, but it's not just because of the brightness, which actually the light is actually telling your eyes that it's noon. Like blue lights, like LED lights, fluorescent lights are terrible for our eyes. Our eyes send signals to our brains to release certain hormones for the time of day. So when the sun goes down, our eyes will still receive reds, ambers, and yellows, and think about like a flame. That would be like the only natural light that we used to have was the flame. And so even in our atmosphere, when the sun goes down, we have reds and everything, spectrums that are hitting our eyes. Those release certain hormones to help us wind down and rest and recover and restore. So if we're looking at phones, we're looking at TVs, we're around electronics, which are emitting dirty electricity or dirty EMFs, they're just energizing your cells, they're energizing your brain, they're causing cortisol and dumps, releases. If you're watching something intense before sleep, you could have, you could be releasing glucocorticoids, which is stress hormones. Those stress hormones, and then too, if you're not eating properly before bed and your blood sugar drops towards the middle of the night. That's why a lot of people wake up in the middle of the night too, because their blood sugar levels are all fucked up and dysfunctional. So when your blood sugar drops, your hormones, your cortisol and adrenaline's released to wake you up. Like, hey, we need this, we need some sugars, we need something. We're fucking dropping out. And so like it's just this stress response after stress response after stress response, and nobody's getting quality sleep. They're not getting into the deep sleep. So that's why people are going to wake up with brain fog, or they're going to go throughout the day and be tired as fuck by noon, or there's a lot that goes into sleep. It's got to be like a sanctuary almost. Like your bed's got to be your little sanctuary, in the sense of making sure that this place is a place to get rest. It's not a place of work. It's not a place of you know what I mean.
Well, yeah. Now I'll touch on that a little bit. I think it's you have to know, you have to be comfortable in the spot that you're at. For me, like I said, like I'm very good at like setting my environment. So like you have to make your environment like really, really, I said sleep friendly. Like just make it like a comfortable. Like if you have a candle, maybe like a certain scent. I know there've been studies that say like there's certain scents that will help you like kind of relax a little bit more, ease up towards easier to fall asleep.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you feel about melatonin, but some people like to take melatonin before they go to bed, listen to some music to kind of soothe into their sleep.
Yeah. If people were to if you're just watch the sun, if you can, it's optimal if you can, but if you could watch the sun go down in that last hour, you don't have to do the full hour, but if you can get like a good amount of sun like going down, that'll be your natural release of melatonin.
Okay.
Yeah. That'll be your natural release. If you can get that on board, then... But, I mean, melatonin supplementing wise, I'd have to really look more into that, because I'm more about just letting our body do it.
Yeah.
But, for the... what else did you say?
Regarding what?
Oh, just before we were talking about melatonin.
I think I said about the like certain sets of candles.
Oh yeah, candles and lights. Yeah, lights are especially important for trying to go to bed, because even our skin can have a response with certain lights. That's how do you think we produce hormone D, vitamin D? Everyone,
you would say like using the candle as a light instead of having your actual light on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was talking about more scent spots, but yeah, no, that makes sense too.
Yeah.
Because I know like there's certain like scents that will like relax and make it to where like you kind of are in like the rhythm of falling asleep.
Mm-hmm.
And so vibrational frequencies, how do you feel about that?
Vibrational frequencies.
Yeah.
As long as you know you can, if you can put your phone on airplane mode, that's the best. Keep it away from you. Unplug shit. And if you can have the least amount of electricity going on within your room, the better. If you can even turn your Wi-Fi off at night, the better. All that shit's energizing us. All of it's fucking us up. So if you can do vibrational frequencies with all that on or off, then I would be down for it.
Yeah.
But if you can't, then it's still, I think it would be better than nothing if you need it to calm down or meditate. This is where you could practice breathing too. You can knock out a couple birds with one stone if you wanted to. You're getting better sleep, you're practicing your breathing, and you're meditating.
Yeah, I like it. All right, I think the next thing that we really want to talk about is nutrition, because like you said, we can talk about it all day.
Yeah.
But that's something that I'm feeling pretty strongly about, and just kind of giving some good information. I think at the beginning of the show I said to like kind of help people develop a better relationship with food.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I noticed one of the things that I always get being a personal trainer and my clients, in particular women, is just they just don't have a healthy relationship with understanding that food is good for you. Like they think that, oh, if I eat less, like I'm gonna feel better and look better. And it's like it's always up about for me of trying to change the perspective of like, no, we need to eat more food. Like we need food.
Mm-hmm.
We need like that's your source of energy. Like that's your source of like just like life. And so I don't know if you see that same kind of issue amongst people, where you're at with that. But it's something I definitely want to talk about more nutrition wise,
Mm-hmm.
and to help people better understand having a better relationship with food overall.
Mm-hmm. I think a way of going about creating a better relationship with food is actually respecting the food itself. Understanding that the food is giving to you just as much as you're supposed to give back to how, serve your purpose or whatever you got to do. So it's like this food is you, like the way I go about it is I accept the food. I thank the food. I created a relationship with food that is a lot more spiritually based. Based on that, I know like that cow, that pig, that whatever I'm eating did its job in life, and I'm thanking for it now, giving back to me so I can give back to the earth for everyone. So getting out of the hippy dippy shit, food is information, and if you're eating food with a bunch of chemicals and toxins, pesticides, rodenticides, fungicides, every type of side, even pharmaceutical drugs make their way into fucking everything. I don't know how, but biosludge, everything those cows are eating, or their environment that they grew up in, or that they were raised in, they're feeding corn, soy, wheat, just to fatten them up. Why? Because corn, soy, and all that bullshit, all the GMO stuff slows your metabolism down, fattens them up faster, they get more money. But now we're eating that food. That food has been scared, it's been traumatized, it's been through the fucking ringer, and it was never loved. Now that food is going into you. How do you expect that food to react within your body? Do you expect it to make you feel fucking good? No. It's gonna throw your body out of loop. It's gonna throw it it's gonna throw it out of whack.
Well, and this is where I'll play devil's advocate. But for the people that I'll say that aren't, like you said, the whole hippy dippy shit, the scientific fact behind it, is there going to be a difference between, let's say, obviously the quality of it, the food is going to be great if you pull out stuff in it. But let's just say that I have one cow that's taken care of really, really great, is loved, and I have another cow that's taken care of the same way, but they just take care of it. Like they don't show any kind of appreciation or love. Like it's just like it's a number, but still the quality of it's still good. Like it's not put with a whole bunch of pesticides, not has a whole bunch of GMOs in it. It's just there.
I'm not saying like they have to have like a one-on-one relationship with the cow.
No, but what I'm saying though is,
but their cow's being taken care of and being a cow. It's doing its normal thing.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying like, yeah, if you wanted to go to like we should be buying from small farms and everything like that. But say you go to a small farm, it all comes down to mineral composition from the soil too, what the cows are eating. So if the cows are eating mineral depleted soil, grass, and things like that, it's not going to get that mineral composition it needs in order to be healthy. It could still be free range, but not healthy. So that's like, it's like But you're also allowing the cow to be a fucking cow and not stressed out over
Yeah,
bullshit.
exactly.
So that's what I'm getting
saying,
to.
Yeah, okay.
There, like, the amount of, it says right here, in the past 100 years, there's been over 10,000 chemicals and non-foods added to our food system. 10,000. Organic foods are 40% more nutrient dense than commercially raised ground food. So you're, one, not getting any nutrients and minerals. Two, it's filled with a bunch of additives, fillers, and bullshit, soy, all these GMO things that are going to cause inflammation. And three, it's just going to cause a burden on your overall body. So it's like you might get a lot like bodybuilders that look fucking great, but they feel like shit. I can guarantee you they're not feeling great.
Yeah. No,
But they're eating fucking chicken and rice, steak and rice, whatever the fuck it is. But it's like you look great, but long term wise, you ain't gonna be great.
Yeah.
Like you'll see everyone break down. Your body will break down. If you feed cows hay rather than grass, or if you feed cows corn rather than nothing, the cows that eat corn die faster.
Yeah.
Because
and I think going back, I want to touch on your analogy before we kind of lose it. Is like if you look at bodybuilding, and you look at the quantity, and I say quantity of food that average bodybuilder eat all throughout their lives, and you look at how their body breaks down, I think bodybuilding is probably the one sport, and when I say sport, clean NFL and basketball players, everything like that, to where these guys are in the worst shape after.
Oh yeah.
Because just their body is just day in and day out. Like, yeah, you can go play football, but at least you have that 4, 5, 6 month period to where you're not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
To where bodybuilders, they're just constantly putting their body in trauma, and then they're filling it with bullshit, to say. And then 10, 20 years, 30 years down the road, you have these guys that have all these hormonal gut issues, cancer pops up, heart issues.
Disease
is
literally called dis-ease. You're dysfunction, or you're disrupting the actual, like fuck, I just like had a brain fart.
Oh, well, let's go. But yeah, so I just want to make that point is like a lot of it, like there's a lot of show, and I think bodybuilding is the show. You see all the good things, but then you don't get the whole gist of what you're really doing and the trauma you're doing to your body.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't, like I said, this isn't to knock bodybuilding. Like I said, I love the sport, but there's the flaws in it too. And I see that issue of a lot of older guys, a lot of even younger guys who just they feed into, oh, like I need to do this, and not really care about what they're putting into their body, what they're doing to their body.
Mm-hmm.
And then they pay the price for it when they're in their 30s. 40s, 50s, however, when their bodies catches up to them.
Yeah.
So I would say next thing I want to talk about then is when it comes to the average person, because like I told you at the beginning, my always issue is having people kind of think like, oh, I need to eat less. And that's kind of built to us through just the media of like, oh, well, eat less, like you'll be skinnier, you'll look better, and you'll feel better, or like weight loss comes from eating less. And it's not really true.
I mean, it's true. It's just not long term. It'll come back, or you're just doing the you're just gonna a lot of people yo-yo, or they'll hit a certain weight and then they'll plateau and then they start feeling worse and worse. They're bloated all day.
I don't know, because like I said, this is where my trial and error method is. Whenever I've had clients that are very low calories, it tends to backfire. Where sure. Like it tends to backfire to where they don't really lose the weight, and like the body fat doesn't really change. If anything, it goes up, but they lose muscle mass more than anything. That's like the one stat I always see go down is when we're eating less, the skeletal muscle mass goes down more than anything if the weight or the body fat goes down. And so, like I said, that's where I see an issue is a lot of people think like, oh, like I need to eat less, like or I need to eat a less amount of food. Like I have some people that'll have like one meal and like snacks a day, and I'm just like, you can't do that. Like your body's not gonna be able to sustain itself, or operate. And I think that's where like the lack of sleep comes from. Like so, like oh, well, I have triple falling asleep. Well, it's probably because you're not eating enough. Like your body's so stressed out and in distress that you're not able to function how you normally would be able to if you were actually serving it. You were actually giving it what it needed.
Yeah, it's on the money, dude. Because that's just another stress when a lot of people are doing like intermittent fasting and things like that, and like. Yeah, it's a good thing to do if you have the capacity to do it. That's I'm gonna go back to capacity. It's like
Yeah.
if your body can handle it because it has the right amount of nutrients to survive during the intermittent fasting, then your body's going to be safe and it's going to be good. But if you're going into intermittent fasting already depleted,
Also, with intermittent fasting though, is there's doing intermittent fasting right and then doing intermittent fasting wrong. And I feel like you have to be right on the money, on like right on time when it comes to intermittent fasting, because when it comes down to that, if you miss it by 30 minutes or an hour, that can change the whole effect it has on your body. And so I think intermittent fasting, if you're right on the money, then it can serve pretty well. But then there's people that kind of they half-ass it.
which one are you doing? Are you doing 18-6? Are you
Typically, people do 18 and 6, and like
some people do fucking
the full fucking like 20, I think, right?
yeah, they'll go like 18-6.
No,
wait,
like 20 hours, and like
wait.
I think what's it called?
Oh yeah, 4. Yeah, 20
Yeah.
and 4. Yeah,
Yeah,
they'll just
20.
have a 4-hour eating
Yeah.
period. Yeah, no.
And so like we say, the body is resilient. It can pick up on that if you do it to a T, if you do it perfectly to a T. But I mean, if you know your life, you know your lifestyle. It's very hard to do everything to a fucking T every day.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's right. And the issue I have with intermittent fasting is, yeah, it works. It's effective if you do it properly, but can you make that commitment of doing it in those lines? And it kind of falls back to the what did you say the word? Your like your threshold or your capacity, yeah. Capacity to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that plays a big role, because that's where I see a lot of issues with intermittent fasting. I'll say that is a lot of people just think like, oh, like I can kind of just do it intuitively.
Mm-hmm.
To like, oh, okay, I don't need to tactic. Like I'll just do like I'll make sure I eat at this time or I eat that time. But if you're not right on the fucking money with it, it's not gonna have the same effect, and it won't work well.
Yeah,
You're basically putting your body through all that stress of not having food.
it's just more stress.
Yeah, exactly.
On top of what you're already dealing with.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel a lot of like even like ketogenic dieting, a lot of people don't do it fucking right because they'll go from snacking like a normal American and then like they'll go into ketogenic dieting. Oh, I can have these keto snacks, or like, and they don't understand that like nutrients, you need nutrients.
Well, my issue with keto is I almost look at it as like being vegan or being like vegetarian or being whatever dieting is. You have to be committed to a lifestyle change. Like you can't just look at it as like a quick like, oh, like I'm gonna do it for like 2 or 3 months like it was the fad, and then go right back to how I was eating before I did it, because you're just fucking with your fucking stomach, your digestive system on how it processes everything.
I could kind of debate that, like in the sense of like you said, how everything like you have to commit to a lifestyle. I would say no. I would say you have to just transition properly. Because everything has its place. Everything has its place. You can go vegan for a little bit and it will help with certain things, but you can't make that a lifestyle because then your body's going to need requirements. And if you're not, and there's people that have the I guess you could say genetic makeup to handle certain fibers, to handle certain types of food more than others. So if say like John can handle certain types of fibers in more of a vegetarian vegan style diet than I can because I'm more, genetically made up to it is true. There's, people think about it, towards the North and the South Pole, or like away from the equator, where it gets real cold, like in the Inuit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The Inuit, the indigenous tribes, they have to survive more off of animal fats, organs, and like less, and muscle meats, but like they can't fucking plant crops up there. Nothing's growing up there. So what do their bodies adapt and survive on? They're genetically made up to survive with that. Now people towards the equator, they're gonna have more fruits. They're gonna have more vegetables. It's gonna get hotter. They're gonna eat less meat, but they're gonna eat more nutrient dense foods from vegetable sources. So now their intestines, our digestive tracts are set up. Literally, there's people that have a way longer digestive tract to handle things with fibrous foods because it takes a longer time to break certain things down. People up north and south, they have shorter digestive tracts. Okay. It doesn't require. So if you have more of a genetic makeup that can't handle like shit like that, you're not eating right for your type.
So to go back, like I think I said, but personally, like, would you, if someone said, hey, like I want to come and do vegan for a month or two to get this goal, but then I want to be able to go back to how I ate before. Would you feel like that would be acceptable?
Well, one, how they're eating before got them to come see me, so that wasn't working. So I wouldn't have them go back to what.
But like this is just what the average person that has like a goal. Like I want to lose freaking 20 pounds and I want to tone up. Like I'm not talking about complete lifestyle. I'm talking about goal because this is where diet changes happen. It's usually because of goal. Like hey, like I need to lose this amount of weight for this vacation, or I'm getting wedding. So I'm saying like when it comes down to like, hey, I want to make this diet change because I want to lose 10 or 15 pounds. And I only want to do this, and that's where my issue is like that's why I've said like if you want to do like vegan because you want to go and do it for a long extended time for like the lifestyle change of it, then fine, like I'm okay with that. But when people say, hey, like I want to go vegan or I want to go do keto or I want to do low carb or low calorie to lose this amount of weight, the issue I have with that is because okay, like yeah, you can do that and it'll work to some degree, but then what happens when you go back to like how you were eating before or how it changes?
Well, they would have to change how they're eating before. They would have to go their transition. Usually, when someone changes into something like veganism or being vegan, from like going like say like the typical Western American diet, they're gonna.
But okay, but I know, and I get where you're going with this. But what I'm saying is like in the typical, because this is where I see like people make the lifestyle change. That's a different like that's a whole approach. That's where I get what you're doing. Is you're trying to bring up the whole change to it to what they're doing before. What I'm saying is when it comes to nutrition and diet, I'm talking about the person that doesn't really have a whole lot of information about nutrition or like lifestyle change. Like they just have a goal. Like they just want to lose that belly fat, or they want to go and have a 6-pack before they go on vacation. And they think, oh, if I do this diet for like 6 to 8 weeks, I'll get that. But then they go on the vacation, they fall right back into what they like eating before. Yeah. Would you how would you say that to somebody if they came and told you like that's what I want to do?
Oh, how would I? Okay, how would I?
Yeah, because I get where you're going. Like you're on a good point. Like you have to fix how they've been eating already. Yeah. But I'm just talking about for the person that has a goal of just like I want to get this. I want to get this going. I think this diet will get me there.
Well, so what did they start with? Like that's the thing.
Okay,
though.
So let me give you like an example.
So like they're a meat eater. Were they eating organic? Were they eating like normal?
They just have a typical Western American diet.
And then they wanted to go vegan?
Yeah, no, well, let's just say keto. So
okay,
I'll say keto. I'll use keto. I'll say keto because that's probably one of the things right now. A lot of people want to do keto. Yeah. So I have this client, she comes in and says, hey, like, I'm going on vacation. I'm going to Hawaii in 2-3 months. I want to lose about 10 or 15 pounds and lose some belly fat off my stomach. I've been really hearing about keto and how like a lot of my friends have been doing keto and they saw really good results from it. Yeah. I want to go and do that and to get myself ready for vacation.
Okay. I would say if your goal is to do it by vacation, and this is something that you feel like will work, one, I'd much rather you be on page with, being comfortable with what you're doing. But I would have to advise maybe not doing that because it's going to be so temporary, in the sense that ketogenic dieting, you'll lose the weight right off the bat and stuff because of all the change. It's so hard to even like go about it because they're so individualistic that I would be looking at so many different things that it's just like such a general question that I wouldn't even be able to just give them like a solid answer. I would have to I would have to ask them more questions.
But like the general thing for me is like
because if they want to achieve their goal, then let's do it. Like we can make it happen. Yeah. But then afterwards we're going to change it right back and we're going to actually change for like impactful habits. So like. If they wanted to reach a goal, but like as soon as they change something up, they're changing their whole microbiome in their body. They're changing up all the bacteria. They're changing up everything that's coming in. So they're probably not going to respond too well off the bat, but then they'll start responding well. But as soon as you fall back, you're going to rechange that whole atmosphere. And you're gonna cause a lot more issues. Yeah. And like so, say like you do go on vacation, and you want to be a little splurge, you're gonna get pretty fucking bloated. I'll tell you that right now.
And that was my main point. Like I said from the beginning, is like that's why I'm quick to say like unless you're willing to make that commitment change. Yeah. It's like wanting to eat like that continuously, then don't do it. Like if you plan on doing this for at least 4, 5, 6 months, and great. Yeah. But if you only want to do this for a 6-8 week period, then I think you'll do more harm than good because when we do get to that spot and then you start consuming things again, your body's not going to react to it well. Like you said, your body's microbiome is going to change up. You're not going to be able to digest food how you did before, to where the bloating happens, where you probably have what's the correct word for this? For like when you poop, it's not gonna come out how it normally would. So I think that's a big thing.
Oh, like just natural bowel function.
Yeah, bowel function. There we go.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Poop is actually a really good indicator on how your insides are.
Yeah. So
if you're like, I could touch on poop real quick. Poop is like one of the cheapest ways of understanding like what works for you. Like if your body is not functioning right internally, you're not going to be shitting out right. So like, you know, there's a lot of different indicators of like what's going on in your body from your poop. That could be something that we could touch up on more later, but like you generally want to pass, you know, obviously solid, easygoing, like shit that doesn't smell like sewage. Like the shit that, like if you go in and your shit smells rancid, that should tell you that your body is pushing out old shit. Old shit that's been sitting inside you.
yeah.
Or it has full of toxins and chemicals and your body's just trying to get rid of it. Your shit should smell earthy and like you know, normal shit. It shouldn't fucking make you plug your nose.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you could be packed up with like 5 to 30 pounds of shit.
Damn.
Like,
How like a Randy?
yeah, for sure. PF Chang's will do that to you.
All right, cool. So I think I think we're somewhat on the same page on that.
Yeah.
And I think that, like I said, that's where I see it the most common is like people want like the quick fix diets.
Yeah.
And my always issue with that is, yeah, that's fine. They work. They're effective. But it's also, you have to make that commitment to like, this is something that you're going to have to do continuously. Because if you don't, then it's going to have the adverse effect of right away when you get off of that kind of diet.
And the one thing I would mainly focus on too is if you're gonna do something, do it quality. Do it with quality.
Oh yeah.
Like so, like that's why a lot of people that transition from like a Western American diet to a vegan diet, they usually will go, "Oh, I'm gonna eat all these vegetables and fruits and things like that." And it's good, but I want to get like if I'm gonna be doing it, I'm gonna go organic, or I'm gonna go to like a better.
I hate organic.
Or
organic.
Why do you hate organic?
Just because a lot of the fucking organic products out there are kind of bullshit.
You're on the money with that one.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna go with anything, you should go with organic.
Yeah.
Like there's gonna be like certain brands like you shouldn't really trust like big top name brands, but if you're gonna go with anything, go organic because if they do have to follow certain regulations and things like that they can't put on a bunch of glyphosates and NPK fertilizers and like you know, all those rodenticides, pesticides, fungicides. They can't use all that, so you don't want all that.
Interesting, because I've come across
across
a bunch of products that are organic that have that same shit, and it's just like.
But there are a lot of people companies that can pay for a certain organic license.
Yeah.
So you have to do your research.
Yeah.
You have to do your research on companies, but back to quality. If that like usually when people change over, now they're getting a lot more fibers, and fiber is a big major detoxer. We need fiber to detox in our system. They're getting more nutrients.
That's how your poop comes out smelling nice.
And there's also certain types of fibers that will clean out excess estrogen within our gut lining. Raw carrots. If you do, you have to peel it first. And you want to get carrots that are like more white and yellow if you can. You want less beta carotene. But if you do a raw carrot salad every single day, you can shave a carrot, throw some coconut oil on top of the little salad with a little bit like apple cider vinegar right there. That's an anti-estrogen, anti-fungal, anti-parasite, antibacterial. It'll help the fibers from the carrot will actually sweep up excess estrogen within your gut lining, and that'll reduce a lot of inflammation.
Interesting.
And we're all filled with estrogen, by the way. If you've grown up on the Western American diet with PUFAs, which is polyunsaturated fats, like the seed oils is going to be corn, canola, cottonseed, safflower, sunflower. Even getting into omega-3s and 6s, those are all going to throw you out of whack and cause a lot of disruption.
So estrogen was not last episode, but it was in this episode.
Yeah, estrogen is very dominant, especially within women nowadays. That's why we have a lot of issues going on with women.
Men too. I feel like men are becoming very estrogen.
Oh yeah, all this soy fucking bullshit. Like you ever hear soy boys? Like, I'm not like, okay, I'm not talking shit on vegans. I love their intentions. I
Yeah.
love intentions. Like,
Yeah.
I know the intentions there,
Yeah.
but I know the repercussions.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I think so. This is always my my philosophy is you can have great intentions there,
Yeah.
but you have to be able to back it up. And I think you just do something for the sake of doing something of the empathetic side of it,
Uh-huh.
and you don't have any real research. You're doing more harm than good.
Yeah.
Because you're pushing someone towards something because emotionally it's appealing, but then you're not doing your due diligence. They can say, okay, well, yeah, we're doing it for this reason, but is this really what it does for you, or are we just saying it because we want everyone to ride this wave?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I...
Do you know how many little bunnies are killed from big agriculture? You fucking animals.
Yeah,
You fucking vegans eating up all the... And then you're also eating all the fucking bunnies' food and shit. No, I'm just kidding.
I love how you go into... All right, so the last thing I really will talk about, and I feel like this is something really pinpointed, because this is something you have a, what's it called, a certification in, is women's health and when it comes to eating.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, and I feel like...
Well, let's just go over some stats right now with what women have to deal with nowadays.
Perfect.
So these are women's health and physiological concerns. 78% of autoimmune diagnoses are women. So 78% of all the autoimmune diagnoses that you can think of or that are out there are women. Women are 2 times more likely to be diagnosed with depression than men, and 2.5 more times more likely to be diagnosed with anxiety, OCD, PTSD. 2/3 of Alzheimer's patients are women. National Institute of Health cited a study that spans 17 countries with more than 85,000 participants, showing that the occurrence of chronic pain is higher amongst females than males. Most common is back pain, arthritis, fibromyalgia, and 90% of those are diagnosed with fibromyalgia are women. So women experience IBS 3 times more than men. Migraine events more than 2 times than men.
I think we're good on the stats there.
Yeah, like, you can clearly see that women go fucking through it.
Yeah.
And that's because they have to go through so much more hormonally wise. They fluctuate a lot more per month than a man. That's called a menstrual cycle. There's going to be phases within the month, and if your menstrual cycle is dysfunctional, you can only imagine that hormones are going to affect your mood, your sleep, your skin, your hair, your nails, your body fat, your metabolism, your thyroid, everything that women worry about, but they do everything with the right intention of trying to help and fix it. But what we're being fed nowadays, or what we're being taught nowadays, is all the pretty much opposite. Like,
and I blame a lot of that for just the industry that is the media. They point us towards all these fucking bullshit ass
just a quick
treatments, fucking methods, and it's
we have the most amount of diet books ever, with the most sick people ever.
Yeah.
There's so much information being thrown out and being cherry picked and being cited, and studies, and even studies are bought off with a lot of fucking companies, and they're not going to put in certain information, or they cherry pick, like I said, and they only do like a study for a month rather than 10 years down the line. You're fucking ingesting this product and you're wondering why you have Alzheimer's. And so it's like, that's where, like, going back to the 6 foundational principles, if you can get those 6 foundations rebalanced, then your mind, body, and spirit will be able to be balanced. And then that in turn you'll be free of disease. You'll be free. Your body will fucking do its job if you
treat it well.
Yeah, if you treat it well.
Yeah.
It's amazing what you could do. But in the mind, another thing about thinking, there's been people that have got diagnosed with cancer but didn't have cancer but still died because they thought they had cancer.
Oh, yeah.
If you literally think you're dying, or every day I'm dying, you say it out loud, I'm dying, or like, this is such a pain in my ass, and you wonder why you actually have a literal pain in your ass because your fucking glutes are turned off. And it's just like, we just need to stop doing so much. Do less. Less is more in today's age. Less is more. You gotta understand where you gotta put your energy towards, and the first thing should be yourself.
So I feel like that was a pretty good wrap up for this episode. Overall, I feel like we talked about a good foundation for principles of just living a better and healthier lifestyle, the things that we really need, and then talking about just developing a better relationship with nutrition, with food in general, and just overall the experience of just understanding our bodies better. So how are you feeling about it?
I feel great. I feel like that there's a lot of information, obviously, that we could touch up on for hours and hours on end. So I'm really happy with what we got to touch up on. But if you do want to talk about all this stuff for hours and hours on end, I'm more than willing to talk to anyone that wants to come through, tap in. We can dive a little deeper within yourself, get the mind, body, and spirit back online, back and rebalanced.
I like that. So I'm pretty sure I have both of our ads in the Instagram bio for the AscendaCast. So if you do want to message us, you can either message us on the Instagram, you can message us individually. If you have any questions, let us know what you guys want to hear more about and maybe future episodes. Other than that, this is John Sanchez.
Signing out.
So you're just going to sign out? sign me out, but not sign yourself out?
I left the group message.
Matt has left the group message. All right, guys. Take care.